Starting lineup: Swain, Mbessa, Ari, Jinx, Rel up against Kaisa, Karthus, Vex, Lucian, Lux. Rating of the picks for a lower ranked game: Swain as a top, 7. Mbessa in the jungle, 7. Ari as a mid, 7. Jinx as a shooter, 5. Rel in support, 10. Kaisa as a top, 0. Karthus in the jungle, 0. Vex as a mid, 9. Lux in support, 6. Here in this game, some more tearing into the honor system. We're gonna have Commissaire Turfear of all things. We're gonna have a collection of individuals up against a team here. The type of game that is really played in character selection. And Lucian just out of necessity here, because this individual lucked out. And in some ways, League is really like real life, because if you don't care what happens to you and your individual freedom and success, then you can hurt anybody. As long as you're willing to go down yourself, you can take anybody you like down with you. All that it takes is being prepared to lose all your freedom and success, just like in League. Moving on. "30 seconds in and a little bit of a visit to the upper part of the jungle, just randomly wandering around. And so we put the ward down. You're gonna have this RE cleverly hiding in the bushes down river, taking up a tactical position here. And the blue team lovebirds converging up top. French boy notices and we go over. So eventually I will join them in the bushes, and we're gonna have this beautiful thing where French boy and the quote-unquote support run away and already leave me to die. But Rel and Mbessa are so caught up in chasing after them that they just walk completely past me as though they're blind. And so I'm gonna have this auto-attack barrage on them, pop them like a zit. In this case, Team Red stat padding me by doing me the favor of abandoning me. And a lot of the verbal disrespects and the reprimands just lose all of their value when I repeatedly game after game see that I am the only individual using these wards to place traps. We all know that teams stupidly like to go to that spot, and yet for some reason, even though wards are free, nobody ever puts one down. You got that unique passive from Kaisa, this mechanic with plasma, a stackable debuff on enemies. When you hit an enemy with her basic attack or ability, you apply plasma stacks. At 2 stacks, the target is detonated, taking bonus magic damage. But the real twist here is that the passive evolves based on which item she builds, and this evolution impacts her other abilities as well. This French boy Kaisa player completes self-destruction in the sense that this boy has remarkable skill and reflexes, but just throwing it all away because you can't tank or top on Kaisa. Down in the bottom lane we end up playing this very interesting game with this teenage girl by the name of Riza, and the way this game works is every time new minions come in, this Lux is going to end up pulling all the way back so that I effectively face tank everything for her. Which, if you know anything about Lucian, face tanking is not really his thing. For what reason all of this is necessary, I know not. We have like a literal 40 characters for every position to choose from without the slightest exaggeration. There's like 40 something assassins, there's like almost 80 mages, and so on. But for some reason we have to start playing everything out of position. Instead of just picking one of the 40, we have to for some reason pick a character that is outside of that range of 40 choices. And this lux ends up going 0 and 5. And I mean, my goodness, man, if you're going to cheapskate your support role like that and keep pulling back and constantly sabotage the shooter de facto, at the very least, take care of your own KDA. What is the point of all of this pulling back and trapping me and backing out if you're gonna have a horrible KDA anyway? This Ambessa went Eclipse, so you got no killing power early on, because you blew it. We're gonna have more standing around the turret with this Lux, so I help out. We have this Cartus, who reminds me of a person who just started boozing after a family member funeral or something. The word emotional gets lost after a while and we disappear into adjectives and exaggerations, but this person wasn't just emotional, he was almost possessed. Eventually my presence will help out saving Vex, who really at 10% health should have died there. This Vex player will later on repay the favor by going complete 1v9 and abandoning every single other person that helped him at every single occasion. Twist and turn. You get some of that Mistral Bolt in this clip to set up kills, Vex's main poke ability, and the reason why her poke potential is so high is because that Mistral Bolt scales with her passive. And then with the shadows that she can send out, the passive switches over on the target to a movement speed buff, and you have that constant repositioning. Vex so ugly but so good. This back and forth between Ari, Kaisa, later on this mispositioning of Ambessa, and if there was no score up top, you could just tell how we were doing based on the fact that these massive missteps are going completely unpunished. We're gonna have a barrage of pings that are going to set up the suicide mission. Team Blue has been sloppy, but it is a team with structure, very impatient and immature players like this Jinx or this Ambessa play wild and chaotically. This Swain player with very little skill, but they have an actual front line, a back court, and a balanced team. On the other hand, the closest thing that Team Red has to anything that can endure any kind of damage is pretty much me with Kanekon. And it does more than anything to speak to the virtue of muting teammates and not using pings. Because this wild child in this red jungler sets this whole thing up. Then he himself comes in late. Everybody for some reason listens to him. I have no idea why. We specifically listen to him. But this is one of the easiest things that you could possibly predict anywhere. And it is really this German boy Vex that kind of for some reason attaches inordinate value to the words of this Cartus player. The moment that he makes the sacrifice, we almost have to jump in. And it just shows you everything about where a person is mentally, that then afterwards, after everybody on Team Red is dead, he just ends up apologetically killing himself by running into 4 enemies by himself. This suiciding at 14 minutes and 30 seconds in, just not anything resembling a winning mindset in League. and you joined up, you logged into League, you waited in the queue, you entered this game, and you came here as a jungler, which means a quick queue at a busy hour. And apparently, in this under 15 minutes, you have completely reversed yourself, completely changed your entire mind. Your entire attitude about what you wanted to do has changed, and suddenly you have no interest whatsoever in winning this game. And I guess everybody around you just has to suffer the consequences. And it seems like more than anything, you're looking kind of for a girlfriend to fight with. It seems like you're trying to get a reaction out of people. Like you're in some kind of failing love relationship. Way more than actually trying to play jungler. This French boy Kaisa, strange ideas about many things, and we're going to flank, but not really. But even if you could have, at this point, at level 10, this isn't really how you fight Swain anymore. The life pool has gotten way too large on him to burst him down like that. This Vex player is going to end up taking a surprising amount of damage all of a sudden. Karthus is going to Karthus, and so run into 2 or 3 other champs. Eventually, Jinx and Rel will come looking for me, so I will end up porting back to the base, and I'll be chasing Swain down in the mid. Really find out in this episode that Lucian is a lot about his first spell. As I've already said, this Vex will back no one, so just let me die. And we're just stuck in an action movie triple X at this point. Vin Diesel and Jason Statham, and we're just no longer really thinking rationally in any way as this Kaisa player. There is a very mundane push and pull in the game of League of Legends that requires you to always be able to back up a bit when you're in trouble. And when you completely ignore that and you just get yourself entirely ambushed systematically, you're lacking a crucial part of the game. One thing is that there's a lot of choice in terms of champs, there's a lot of choice in terms of representation, there's a lot of choice in terms of personal expression, but in the end, all of these things, what do they end up getting so many people? Your expression through the KDA, your expression through picking Karthus, your expression through all of these little symbols and all of these beauty skins and whatnot that you put on. The little player card modifications, the very unique playstyle. In the end, you end up intentionally losing. Because you got lost in these personal fixations and you forgot about wins and losses. Plainly put, you got your facelift, hair and nails done, but you forgot about your heart muscle. This was all supposed to accumulate in a full picture puzzle. And all these little champion choices and spell choices and whatnot were only the pieces of the puzzle. And they all just mean nothing if they do not lead to a victory. And if you have to look at Team Red here, one of the first things you'd have to say is, rather than rating individually, you would have to start out with, we had 3 players who were actually playing. Don't get me wrong, I don't mean good, I mean actually playing. This Karthus and this Kaisa, despite the fact that this Kaisa had decent skill, you're just not even really in League. You're playing a game of self-expression and stunting. You're not even really actually playing League of Legends like in the first place, let alone whether you're good or not. Being good has nothing to do with it, you're just playing an entirely different game. Your objectives aren't even the same. This Vex intensely antisocial, this Lux, a worthless player by itself, but they were at least actually involved in trying to win the game of League of Legends. Team synergies here, you would have to say that Team Blue is an A. It's close, it's almost a B because of Ambessa, but when you look closely, you see those two indestructible tanks in Swain and Rel. You get a bit of weirdness with this Ambessa, true, but Ari, when being played by a serious player, is as good as anybody. You just never see her being played by serious people. And then Jinx can scale as well as anybody. In other words, you have a really solid all-around complementary force here. And they just all fill in each other's needs, even if they're not per se great players. They fit really well together. On the other hand, you have Team Red, and you would have to say easily a C. You have Kaisa, who needs a lot of protection. You have Karthus, which is a kind of a bonus card and a kind of a bonus joker. You have Vex, who needs some protection and does a lot of what Kaisa would do. Then you have Lucian, who needs a bunch of protection. And then you have Lux, who in many ways needs a bunch of protection. There's no tanks here. In terms of fragility, it's like 3 sniper rifles and 1 assault rifle on Team Red. A collection of individuals, not a team. If I had to rate the behavior of these players, I would have to say the Swain a B, but close to a C. You're really not at all using Swain's ability to absorb damage and play make. And you were a lot of why this game was bizarrely close in the first 20 minutes. And it really should not have been. One of the 2 worst players on Team Blue. Then you have this Ambessa, a B, chaotic, all over the place, slamming buttons, kind of like a wild horde or a barbarian, but constant effort and definitely useful, especially in terms of tactical pressure. We have this RE, a B. You seemed kind of stingy and annoyed, but this seems to be your first time on RE, and you had a very good idea of how to kite and play it carefully. You made the other team waste a lot of time. What we don't see in this game is any of the playmaking that RE can bring to bear. That's why it's not an A. We have this Jinx, a C, I'm assuming a very young boy, clowning around with the skill shots, abandoning your lane, giving orders that don't make any sense at all. Definitely rather a team wrecker, but not in a toxic way. You went with Yuntai though, so there is some sense in that. You have a acceptable build. We have this Rel, an A. Why have I not been allowed to play alongside a support like this yet? How long will I have to wait before I get a chance to? You were the closest thing to a professional player in this game. Your mind and your heart were as good as it gets. Mechanically speaking, you were very weak. Bad with the controls, but amazing when it came to long-term game plan. We have this Kaisa. I'm gonna give you a C, even though ironically enough, you were put in a lot of difficult positions and you ended up actually doing very well on KDA, given the kind of team that we had and given your circumstances. It's just like, why do you want to bleed so badly? Why? If you have this much skill, just play something like Cho'Gath and you will win every game. I had the feeling that despite the fact that this person was very much awake, very quick with the controls, I had the impression like you were just like doing tricks with your skateboard or something, goofing off somewhere, not even really trying to win, just trying to get like spectacular moments or something, or a spectacular stunt, rather than actually playing the game of managing structures and taking down enemy structures and conquest and MOBA conquest in general. This Karthus AC, the best way to describe you is that you changed your mind in the 5 minutes that it took to sign up for this game and queue up for this game. When you were in this game, you decided suddenly that you no longer wanted to be in this game. And with a queue time of under 5 minutes, and significantly under 5 minutes, it should really be possible to have some consistency in that period of time so that you do not end up reversing yourself on every position and reversing yourself on everything that you wanted to do. Because as soon as you were here, you wanted to get out. We have this Vex, a B, close to a C, bit of a feather in my cap that I do not give this guy a C. I definitely get the impression that this guy tried to get me killed on several plays by randomly running backwards so that I was completely exposed. Very selfish and very difficult to work with. However, you signed up for the game and you at least actually tried. And you were at least playing League of Legends. And not some kind of personal frustration or personal fixation, whatever that may be. You went with the hourglass, you got a couple of conservative items, a couple of responsible items. An oversimplification could be that it was both you and me that were stuck in this game. We were both stuck with a bunch of people who had absolutely no intention of playing in a serious manner. We have this Lux, AC, you went 0-5, time to go with Diablo, man. After getting very high mastery on this thing, League, not your game. You want something that is more brain dead. What you got more than anything with this Lux is just a lack of capacity to make any kind of judgment call. And it pains me to say it, but whereas there's so many Lux players that you will definitely find helpful ones and good ones because of the sheer numbers, but the fact by itself that you pick Lux for this kind of position is a sign of a lack of responsibility. Not a toxic person, not a difficult person, just a person who has no business here, and they should know that. They should know that they have no business here based on every indication that they've been given. Either put together the passion to actually actively play and go out and accomplish something in a game, or get out of ranked. And it's definitely one of the first times that I've had to give a person a C who had an acceptable personality. But I guess if you have a complete lack of coordination, that by itself could be a huge behavior problem as well. You don't per se have to be toxic. If you're out of place enough, you create a similar negative effect on people and on teams. As for me, my one game Lucian summary is that it is a constant droning of casting the first spell with Lucian, and you should try to save mana on your second spell. That is my main takeaway. Lucian, a champ with an extremely high ceiling, I already knew that. that. Definitely very interesting character on the list of Draven and Jinx. Yeah, and Jinx, although she is a poor pick for casual players, and although she is difficult to control, because of the fact that they put her on every cover of League of Legends, and in every arcane movie and whatever it is, you actually at times really have trouble getting your hands on her from a pick standpoint, and she will be banned or picked just because she's popular from a commercial standpoint. And that is really what created this entire Lucian affair in the first place. Very young people here, I didn't expect much, but you somehow managed to underwhelm significantly. Some games cannot be won, and if two guys are essentially out, that is that. We did not see Eclipse trigger in this game. It's kind of impressive going on such a long killing streak and still only ending up with 8 and 6. This is really something that I didn't originally anticipate. You get here smart conservative choices and pacing yourself a little bit, going with the reliable, the mark of a modern day German. Keep in mind that every time you add raw damage like this to Jinx, it will not make a difference for her Super Mega Death Rocket. It does not help you whatsoever with her skills like that. You see this really a lot. One of the marksman items that really should be used by way more fighters and hybrids, but very rarely is. Instead, they'd rather go for stuff that doesn't belong with them at all and that is pure marksman oriented, such as, for example, Garen going Infinity Edge. Whereas Garen should really be going Bloodthirster. If anything, eventually. Not a core item, but definitely more of a fighter item than, say, Infinity. This here Vex put down 24 wards. Quite insane. Have no idea when he did that. Never saw him put down a single one, myself. And it just tells you a lot about morale and involvement. It's kind of shocking that I only come in at like third or fourth in this. As Jinx in this lineup, you get the opportunity to hide behind Rel. Still have not had a single opportunity to play alongside Rel myself. You can also hide behind Mbessa, you can also hide behind Swain. So this is really a shooter dream. All in all, this is for a lower tier game a very balanced team. If we're going to be honest and not just go troll face on everything, could I hide behind Lux and use her for protection? No. Could I use Vex for protection? No. Could I use Kartus for protection? No. Could I use Kaisa for protection? No. So if you are a person, a player who believes in the role of the ADC, you're just not giving me an honest chance to compete here. I definitely think that if you were to microscopically go over the tape and the footage, you would see that my plays were significantly smarter and more impactful, but yet I cannot touch this damage because Jinx just has too many advantages because of the lineup in this game. Moving on.
seconds until minions spawn.
What we had can still be. I know it.
Minions have spawned. First blood.
I've missed the smell of life. I got two. Go on. Scare me.
Seriously?
There's a right side and a wrong side to these guns. Don't want to be on the wrong side.
A summoner has reconnected.
She feels
the shadow.
cold.
Right.
People never really change.
Shadow. Right. I'll fight to the end.
You stare into the mist, and this stares back. Reckon I could use a rest and a break from all the screaming. No place for feelings in this line of work. A full heart's an easy target. When I kill them, they stay killed. It ain't the great idea. It's what draws out. one shot at myself, just in case. Everyone I shoot is her captor. Everyone I save is her.
Rampage.
So my wife is half dead. Not a problem. I'll just love to have to visit. My wife's eyes glow with spectral magic. I'm sure it's fine.
Turret plating will soon fall. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Shine bright!
You're supposed to grieve when the thing you mourn comes back.
Shut down. Shut down. An ally has been slain.
I ain't got time to die.
Your enemy has destroyed a turret. Your turret has been destroyed.
This long around lost souls. You are bound to lose.
Banish the shadows!
Shut down.
Shine bright!
Sentinel. Fancy word for someone with nothing to lose.
Banish the shadows!
Your enemy has destroyed a turret.
Shine bright!
It's a hell of a thing. Can't run from trouble. Sure can delay it for a spell, though. Don't need triggers. Just need a target.
Your turret has been destroyed. An enemy has been slain.
Home is where I fight the dead.
An enemy is unstoppable. Enemy killing spree.
I'll sleep when they're good and dead. I try to remember her the way she was. Maybe it's best I don't.
An enemy has been slain.
Looks like no peace for me
An
today.
ally has been slain.
No place for feelings in this line of work. A full heart's an easy target. Nothing as painful as seeing something good go bad. Something seems too good to be true. Probably is.
No more holding back! Mount up!
Always save one shot for myself, just in case. So my wife is half dead. Not a problem. I'll just love the half that isn't. If you have the right information.
An ally has been slain.
No sunshine where I'm going.
An enemy has been slain.
Even notice it anymore. It ain't ever a sin to be careful. Happiness is for other folks. Best I can hope for is peace.
An ally has been slain.
Need triggers. Just need a target.
An enemy is godlike.
People never really change. I need to believe that. Have some peace.
Shut down. An ally has been slain. Shut down. Double kill.
One shot for the years we lost. One for the love we can't get back.
destroyed.
Nothing as painful as seeing something good go bad. He's got to know when to let his guns cool.
An ally has been slain.
Strange place. Beats the hell out of the Shadow Isles, though. I've always fought the Black Mist. Never thought I'd be married to it.
An ally has been slain.
Life was a hell of a thing. My wife's eyes glow with spectral magic. I'm sure it's fine. There's a chill in the air.
Double kill. An ally has been slain.
There's a right side and a wrong side to these guns. Don't want to be on the wrong side. Save her. I can save her. Used to think nothing was colder than death. Now I know different.
An enemy has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
I miss the speed of life. It ain't the grave I fear. It's what crawls out of it. the beyond. I hope it's better than this. How are you supposed to grieve? The thing you know comes back.
Has been destroyed.
All those bastards are with me.
An ally has been slain.
Now when I hold her, she feels cold. These guns run on fury. I never run out. This ain't war. War's end.
Your inhibitor has respawned.
You stare into the mist, and the mist stares back.
An ally has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. Your inhibitor has been destroyed. An enemy has been slain. Your inhibitor has been destroyed. Your inhibitor has been shut down.
It's not the wraiths that haunt me.
Shut down. Defeat.